Now at 10, why Jasper County has not yet implemented a state program to freeze property taxes for some senior citizens. Plus, residents of one southwest Missouri town expressed their frustration with their tax service. And the Pitt State Marching Band tunes up ahead of this weekend's big game.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A law goes into effect today that could freeze property taxes for some Missouri residents. This is KOAM News at 10. I'm Dow Quick. Jasper County has not yet implemented that program. The tax freeze is up to individual counties to implement, but the wording of the initial bill left many Missouri county officials confused. Today's law clarifies an age requirement of 62 years for participants, when the initial 2023 bill said those who qualified for Social Security could apply. That excluded people such as teachers and some federal employees who don't pay into that retirement. Jasper County officials say they are having discussions about the county implementing the tax freeze, but they wanted to wait until they saw the clarification and saw what other counties did.
We'll take a hard look at it. I don't think anybody in this courthouse is opposed to the tax credit for seniors. I'm certainly not. But you've got to work your way through it and do certain things that maintain the standards of integrity that the taxpayers would demand.
Several Jasper County residents have expressed a desire for the county to implement that program, some signing a petition. The county collector warns that even if the county does decide to implement the tax freeze, it would take some time to get set up and for people to see any results. The heat continues. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Yeah, it's been a hot week across the region and no exception today. Look at our high temp, 99 degrees, 11 degrees above where we should be for this time of the year. Record 105 set back in 1954. We did get isolated strong storms during the evening hours. They were hit and miss, but the ones that did pop up, some of them packed a punch. Still sitting upper 70s outside for us right now, Joplin and Pittsburgh. Upper 70s to lower 80s. We're only going to drop back lower 70s later on tonight. And any isolated storms we had out there earlier, those are gone. Now, we still have to deal with the heat again as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow, well into the 90s. But look at this line right here, that temperature contrast. That's a cold front. That's going to head toward us as we get into tomorrow night and Friday. That's going to give us rain and cooler temperatures. We're going to talk about it here in just a bit.
See you soon. More people in some southwest Missouri towns are seeing trash buildup in their neighborhoods. Adam Woodry spoke to some customers of the Cards Trash Service who say their garbage bins are not getting emptied for weeks at a time.
I just want them to pick up the trash that they haven't picked up for the money that we paid for.
People in some rural communities fed up watching their trash piles grow.
3 weeks. They've gone a couple of weeks before, and we've called and called. Oh yeah, we'll have somebody out here, and maybe once in a while they will, but now lately we've been calling and they're just not sending anybody out.
Keith Johnson, a Cards Recycling Services customer, says piles of trash like these are a common sight in Conway. In the beginning, he had no issues with Cards service.
We actually had no problem for a little bit, and then when they went to quarterly billing, things really started going downhill real fast.
I don't think I really had a problem with the quarterly billing because previous to Peterson, I'd had another trash service and they did it quarterly.
Helen Furrio tells me that early on, Cards service was just fine in Conway. In fact, when she called customer service about billing or other questions, she says they were very helpful. But over the last month, she said trash service has changed. She isn't sure why. All she knows is her trash hasn't been picked up for 2 weeks.
I'm trying to clean out my garage, so I need to have that pickup.
Furrio admits that she doesn't have a lot of trash that needs to be picked up, but she still wants the service that she's paid for.
No explanation's been given to me to why the service has changed, but initially, as I say, they were very, very good.
The Cards company was contacted for comment and they have not responded so far. In Conway, Trash Pickup Day is Thursday and customers there are hoping it does indeed get picked up. We'll see. Girard, Kansas is in the process of revitalizing their town square through various grant initiatives. They have a list of ideas to implement into their vacant spaces in the square, including a stage for concerts and a park. They hope the revitalization of the square will encourage tourism and community members to stay in Girard.
What we really are focusing on for the Chamber and Main Street is that if you can take one piece like the square in Girard and you can really make some changes there, it's going to echo out into the rest of the community.
Through Network Kansas, the Girard Chamber of Commerce is offering a Pitch Your Porch program where businesses can apply for grants to make upgrades to their storefronts. Construction progresses on the new Frontenac Public Library. Workers broke ground and worked on water lines today. The $4.5 million project will serve as more than just a library. The building will also feature a community room and a coffee shop. The city's first ever public library will also hold the Frontenac Historical Collection. The city hopes to have that building open to the public next year. The Pitt State Pride of the Plains Marching Band wrapped up one of their final practices before they helped paint the town red. The band director, Joby Wilson, with the help of his drum majors and sectional leaders, had just 3 weeks to transform a diverse group of students into a single unit that aims to continue a proud tradition.
Here it's a little different story, and in college, especially for the people that are just coming up, it's about that progression from high school to college as a person. And so what we try to do here is try to give them a support immediately, a family atmosphere.
You can check out the Pitt State Pride of the Plains Marching Band this Friday at the Paint the Town Red Parade and again at the big game against Ferris State. That's coming up on Saturday. And speaking of Paint the Town Red, the KOAM Roadshow is heading to Pittsburgh's downtown block party. KOAM's own Tanya Bach and Lindsay Gaffney will be live from downtown Pittsburgh during our 5 and 6 o'clock news to help celebrate and, of course, to help paint the town red. Eating locally can benefit your body and your community. A health expert in Mount Vernon has some advice coming up. And later, the Gorillas are getting ready to serve up a brand new volleyball season. John Dales has a preview coming up in sports.
The interview set.
Some of you might be making a list to go to the grocery store before or during the holiday weekend. But if you're looking for a healthier lifestyle while helping area business owners, well, you might want to consider shopping locally. KOAM's Lonnie Walton has that story.
There are many things to think about when you buy your groceries. Health expert Andrea Collars says buying locally should be one of them.
There are going to be fewer preservatives. The fresher the food is, the fewer preservatives that it is going to have. Buying local helps support local farmers, which is fantastic.
Eric Vimont, owner of Pasture Nectar Farms near Mount Vernon, Missouri, agrees. He says keeping food at its purest is a top priority.
Absolutely do not use any additives, any chemicals, any products that are known to be harmful.
It's not all about where it grows, but how it grows.
The soil may be less used, and so there's more nutrition in the soil, and so that nutrition is going into the food itself.
The manure from the cows and the natural elements that are in the atmosphere are the only things that stimulate our grass growth. And because of that, we have the most fertile ground around.
And if you want your kids to enjoy healthy eating, start now and try making friends with your farmers.
If you have children that don't want to eat fruits and vegetables, take them to the farmer's market. And
I think the most important thing a person can do to ensure that they get good food is to have a relationship with a farmer.
Reporting in Southwest Missouri, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
Missouri Southern has just started a new food science program. It includes research and development, food tasting, and quality control. Chalk up a win for art lovers. The annual Sidewalk Chalk Contest is returning for the Neosho Fall Festival. The contest, presented by the Neosho Arts Council, will take place on October 5th. Cash prizes will be awarded in various age groups. Kids ages 6 to 15 can enter the contest free of charge, while those ages 16 and up, they'll need to pay a $10 entry fee. You'll find information at KOAMnewsnow.com. Folks headed out to Wesco Home Furnishings in Pittsburgh today for the Great American Flag Swap. That event, sponsored by KOAM TV and Fox 14, always draws plenty of people, and today was no exception. You see the line there. From noon to 1:30, people could come into Wesco and swap out their old, tattered flags for a brand new one, absolutely free. Part of the excitement for the event comes from how much the community looks forward to it. Be sure to check out KOAMNewsNow.com for information on upcoming Great American Flag Swap dates and locations. A little bit later, we know how hot it's been, but did you know we're not the only ones sweating this summer? We're going to explain corn sweats when we come back.
And you're going to be sweating again, once again on Thursday, but we do have some changes. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, of course, it turned out to be hot outside for us today. We also got some isolated, very strong storms during the evening hours, especially near Dunawig and Carthage, where there was some wind damage. These came in with winds at about 55 to 60, but right below severe limits, but still very strong storms can produce a little bit of damage. And we're going to get some additional isolated storms once again as we go into Thursday afternoon. All right, still warm, upper 70s, low to mid 80s. We'll only drop back into the lower 70s later on tonight. Plus, our humidity has creeped up a bit. You can see our dew points measuring humidity right around 70 degrees. So if we look at our tracker, that makes it feel muggy outside. It's not the top of the scale, but it's definitely up there. And that's what we're going to see as we go into the daytime hours tomorrow. All these isolated storms, strong ones that we had earlier, once we lost the heating of the day, they have dissipated, so we're nice and calm. We're going to stay nice and calm as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But additional pop-up thunderstorms are going to be popping up once again on Thursday. So really what's going to happen, we have a couple big changes moving in. One, we got better rain chances, which we need the rain, showers, and thunderstorms. Two, our temperatures are going to be cooling down a bit as we head into the holiday weekend. All right, tomorrow's still hot, starting low to mid 70s. Let's go to about the noon hour. Lower 90s by the afternoon, very similar to today, 95, 96, 97 degrees. Notice again, pop-up strong storms once again tomorrow afternoon, and then once we lose the heating of the day, those will be gone. Now, this will be our last day that we see temperatures well into the 90s for a while. They will return by the middle of September, but for a while, we're going to get at least more pleasant temperatures. 73 to start, 91 by noon, high temp 96. Again, a few isolated storms late, plus our heat index is going to be up there anywhere from, I think once we get to about 2 or 3 o'clock, anywhere from about 100 to about 104, 105 out in our western counties. Let's move into tomorrow night because we have that cold front rolling in. Thunderstorms to our northwest, drive in, scattered, not a wall of rain, by early Friday morning. So north of I-44 Friday morning, we're going to start with scattered thunderstorms. Kind of fizzle apart, but once we get into the afternoon, they'll regenerate along the I-44 corridor and south. Some of these storms could be strong. Periods of scattered thunderstorms all the way up along I-44 corridor into Saturday morning, then popping back up again, scattered thunderstorms, I-44 and south, by Saturday afternoon. Also notice the temperatures, highs mainly into the mid 80s. I think Sunday looks pretty good. Most of the rain will stay generally down to our south, but we could get some decent rainfall amounts with this wave. A lot of areas could pick up a half an inch, 3/4 of an inch, upwards to an inch, which of course we could use. All right, so dodging storms Saturday, especially if you're heading to the lakes, Table Rock, Grand, Beaver, dodging storms. But Sunday and Monday look good, 88 for an afternoon high, and the 80s are going to be so much better than the 99s we've had the past few days. 96 tomorrow, and then a very cool 87 on Friday, 84 Saturday. Labor Day itself, 85, partly sunny, and nice stretch of 80s through next week.
Yeah, the overnight lows in the 60s, maybe mid-low 60s.
We're heading that direction.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks, Doug. We do know how hot it has been and can be this time of year. Even the corn needs to keep cool by sweating. Heard that right. Corn gets the sweats. Nicolette Zingara breaks down the science behind that process.
before you start applying deodorant to your cornfields, it's not going to be any stinkier than usual. In fact, all plants do it. The scientific term is called evapotranspiration.
Corn plants are getting just as hot as we are out in the field. They have to pull water in from their roots up through their leaves and release that water as a way of cooling themselves off.
This is eventually released into the air as water vapor, which increases the humidity and therefore the feels-like temperature. Matt Womack, an assistant professor at Missouri State and the farm operations coordinator, says it can be a safety hazard.
Very common safety concern for farmers, especially when we get into this time of year. If you're out walking actual corn fields, you need to pay more attention to how much water you take in, things like that, because the humidity inside the cornfield is going to be significantly higher than outside the cornfield, and therefore humidity being part of the heat index is going to be quite a bit higher inside the cornfield versus outside the cornfield.
So how much corn sweat are we talking? Well, it's estimated that 1 acre of corn can produce 3,000 to 4,000 gallons of water every single day. Just to put that into perspective, that would be like me filling up and dumping out this hot tub 20 times in a 24-hour period. Like the rest of us, corn and other plants sweat the most this time of year.
The corn is right at tasseling. The corn is using the majority. That's its highest peak as far as its need for water. Right after tasseling, and as the corn starts to dry down, the water use will start to drop off again.
Still ahead, a former Webb City Cardinals signs with an NFL practice squad, and Pitt State Volleyball prepares for the 2024 season. John Dales has those stories and a lot more. It's coming up next.
Extend summer fun at Toyota's National Sales Event. With less, get more, only at Ashley.
College volleyball season is right around the corner, and Pittsburgh State begins its 2024 campaign at home with the Gorilla Classic tournament. That's 4 games in 2 days, beginning with the season opener against Arkansas Tech. That's next Friday, September 6th. Well, Pittsburgh State volleyball was on the court this afternoon, practicing ahead of that 2024 season opener, again next Friday in the Gorilla Classic. PSU is led by 9th-year head coach Jen Gomez. And it's still very early, but there is a lot to be excited about with this year's Gorilla squad.
I like the energy that we bring. I like the intensity and the focus that they had. We're really focusing on our purpose and every day, what's the purpose behind what we're doing. So I really like seeing that intentional focus from them.
Just like the energy and like the relationships this year. The leadership's been a lot better. We've been more focused on that. Like last year we kind of fell off a little bit with that, and so this year that's been our main focus. We have 4 captains, so that's been really good to like build our leadership and keep our team together and just focused on that.
Over to the NFL, we mentioned yesterday how Webb City High School alum Zach Davidson was part of the final roster cuts for the Buffalo Bills, but this afternoon they signed him to their practice squad. Davidson is the only tight end on Buffalo's practice squad, and they have 3 of them on their active roster. Well, the Chiefs had a very busy day as well. After narrowing down their active roster to 53 players yesterday, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champs have made several personnel moves this morning into this afternoon. Kansas City is filling out its practice squad. Here's a look at just a few of the 16 players on it right now. Quarterback Bailey Zappi comes over from the New England Patriots. Wide receivers Justin Ross and Nico Remigio, they're back after getting cut yesterday. They're on the practice squad, and Kansas City signs running back Samaje Perine to its active roster as well. To Major League Baseball, Royals trying to sweep the Guardians. They get off to a fantastic start. Top of the first, Michael Massey hits his 11th home run of the year. Kansas City leads 1-0. 2 batters later, Vinny Pasquantino makes it 2-0 after that solo shot to right. And the Royals bats would continue to stay hot. 3rd inning, up 2-1. Bobby Witt Jr. turns on that pitch and crushes it down the line and gone to left. Royals up 3-1. We'll go ahead to the bottom of the 7th inning. It's 5-4, Royals leading at that point, but Will Brennan lines one up the middle. Bobby Witt Jr. nearly makes the catch, but that goes through into center for a hit that ties the game. Next batter, John Kenzie Noel hits a bloop single that falls in left field. That gives the Guardians their first lead of the game. Cleveland would score 4 that inning, goes on to win 7-5. Royals fall a game back of the Guardians for first place in the AL Central. Better news for the Cardinals, though. They win 4-3 over the Padres tonight, courtesy of a walk-off single from Nolan Arenado. In the bottom of the 9th inning, Cards are now just a game below 500 on the season. Their record is 66-67. They want to make a playoff push, though. They only have about 30 games left and a lot of ground to cover to get in there.
Yeah, they're going to have to do something fast. The Royals, on the other hand, in good position.
Very much so.
See what happens for the rest of this season. We'll be right back.
August and September is the time for celebration at your
A fourth-day hero.
Bald eagle that was recently rescued in Missouri was believed to be injured, but upon further examination, rescuers determined, no, not injured exactly. He was just overweight. The eagle was found near Wilson's Creek National Battlefield in Republic, Missouri. Following original reports, the bird was hurt. The State's Department of Conservation said, no, the eagle appeared to be otherwise healthy. Instead, it was discovered the eagle had enjoyed a big meal of what was suspected to be raccoon roadkill. You know how that raccoon roadkill goes. It just goes straight to your waist. In other words, too fat to fly. That's a quote the department said in a Facebook post. Conservation officials said the bird has been rehabilitated and released. So if you're watching your waistline, it's a lesson for you. Stay away from the raccoon roadkill.
That's tough for that bird. First you're already bald, now you're too fat to fly.
Oh boy. It's not easy on the raccoon either, I'm sure. Okay, the weather.
Yeah, it's going to be hot again for us tomorrow. 96 for a high, some isolated thunderstorms late. Better chances Friday and Saturday.
Final sports notes.
Missouri Southern football begins its 2024 season tomorrow night at Midwestern State.
Very good. Thanks for joining us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. Let's make it a great tomorrow.